It's your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is Late Night with Chig, where I talk to you about football news relating to the Arsenal. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I'd gotten over the shock that Pochettino was sacked and Arsenal still ain't doing nothing. Jose has subsequently been hired at Spurs, which I honestly don't know why people are laughing at Spurs. Like, don't get me wrong, I didn't want Jose for Arsenal because, I don't know how good he is with young players, bringing them through, developing them. Is he finished at the very top of the game? And we're soon going to find out. And there were lots of apprehensions I had with him. But this is a team who, all banter aside, have struggled to win trophies. They've brought in a specialist at winning trophies. I don't see what is hilarious about it. I don't know why people are laughing at Spurs like they've done something awful. I actually think it's a pretty interesting appointment for them. Compounded by the fact that we are just sitting on our hands, almost waiting to see how the dust settles. But anyway, I've just started to calm down from that. And then I started seeing stories. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I've been working all day, I've been keeping my head down, getting on with a few bits and bobs, trying to get a number of things done. And then my phone started blowing off. People started saying, Chig, have you seen this? Chig, have you seen that? And I seen the Twitter kind of notifications pop up, and I put my phone down. So, all right, cool, let me just concentrate on what I'm doing. And then people were like, no, Chig, I left work. People were saying, Chig, you've really got to check this out. I'm like, bruv, what's going on? So I check it out, and people are talking about Pochettino to Arsenal. So the first story I read is from Harry Redknapp. I think, all right, this is Harry trying to get himself into the news, talking that shit, doing what he's doing, trying to get his name out there. He knows Arsenal fans are triggered pretty easily, particularly in our situation, in our climate, as we head back to the Premier League season, and the focus is very much on Premier League teams and what Premier League clubs are doing. So as a way to get himself out there, he's making a stupid claim. From what I saw, I didn't even read the claim too tough, but I saw Saddam Hussein, and then I saw in the same breath Arsenal should get Pochettino. I already knew what time it was, right? So I was just like, all right, this guy's clearly starting to lose his marbles, or he's trying to trigger Arsenal fans. So I weren't really looking too tough into the comments. The second thing I saw was Martin Keown. So Martin Keown comes out with, and I love, as a pundit, he has this habit of saying some wild shit every now and again. This is the story I read. Martin Keown has called on Arsenal to appoint former Tottenham manager Mauricio. Pochettino was sacked on Tuesday night with Spurs in 14th. Excuse me, trying to hold down a burp there. Sorry, people. Languishing in 14th, but just 5 months after reaching the Champions League final, with pressure growing on Unai Emery, the Sports Mail columnist believes that they could do far worse. So is that the space time we could do far worse? People were actually defending this when I was like, I put out on Twitter, for one day, and I see that we are already losing our minds if we are actually considering Pochettino as the man to replace Unai Emery. Since when have we got ourselves in a position where something is not good enough for Spurs, but it's good enough for Arsenal? Even suggesting such a thing. And mind you, I'm starting to see people so outraged the idea that Mourinho will be in charge of Arsenal. The same people that are pitching to be manager of Arsenal. What? No. Flipping heck. For all of this idiot's faults, at least at some point in his career, he has consistently won a trophy. Talk about Spanish Moyes, who we've got as manager at the moment. He's consistently won a trophy. What the heck can you say about Pochettino? The man has an amazing, I'll give him that, one that rivals a Mesut Ozil. He's starting to be talked about for United jobs and Real Madrid jobs. All of this without winning a damn thing. And then people, again, in that same breath will say, oh, well, we can't have Eddie Howe. Why? Eddie Howe's doing what? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Pochettino hasn't done something with Spurs, but come the fuck on. Since when is something that's not good enough for Spurs good enough for us? It's bad enough that we seem to have this policy with Chelsea. Czech wasn't good enough for Chelsea, but all of a sudden was good enough for us. Luiz wasn't good enough for Chelsea, was good enough for us. Sylvester wasn't good enough for United, but was good enough for us. Welbeck wasn't good enough for United, but was good enough for us. Are we sick of being this team? Flipping heck. No. No, Pochettino. You must be mad. No. And I'm seeing some well-known people, friends of mine, people who have big accounts saying, no, they consider Pochettino, you know. Look, are you kidding me? No. Even for the banks, no. Flip me. I saw that headline. I thought, actually seeing people spitting bars like actually considering this. I think I saw on my phone just pop up now about another person popping up. Sorry, it was someone tagging me in the quote that I was about to read, and it just vexed me. Keown basically said, the people at the top of the club should be considering Pochettino. A lot of chairmen will want him. Real Madrid would take him, and I think Arsenal will. No. What is really disturbing me about Keown's comments is when I look at the odds for the new Arsenal manager, these are the names that are being linked with our illustrious job. Maximo Allegri is currently 7-2 favourite to take the Arsenal job. You think, okay, big name manager. Admittedly, I've gone a little bit off him recently. I must accept. Because somebody made a very valid point to me that made me kind of think, and that was because I've never been a fan, for example, of Luis Enrique taking over as Arsenal manager, because I've always thought, well, he didn't really do anything particularly special with Barcelona with time, and it was Barcelona. It's hard to mess that up, and it's kind of the same thing with Juventus. All right, they're no Barcelona, but they were a good team. They were basically a one team league. No disrespect to the Italian league, but let's just be real here. So impressive could he be? He got to one Champions League final himself. That was really it. I don't really remember anything else that he did. Having said that, he's still fifth on my list, because you could poke holes in every single candidate if you're going to really go about it like that. But he's still fifth in my list. It's just not as high up as he once was. And like I said, I put him in that kind of Luis Enrique sort of category. Mikel Arteta is second favourite for the Arsenal job. What? How are we in this spot again? I thought we were past this nonsense last year. It's like they have a real stiffy for this idea of Mikel Arteta being Arsenal manager. And then I actually, again, have some people saying, oh, well, he's been learning under Pep, so he'd probably be good. Oh, scene, okay, cool. Do you remember Jose's number 2? Alex Ferguson's number 2? Tell me where they are now, please. I'm real curious. Where they are now. Oh, you don't know? Oh, scene, okay, cool. What kind of logic is that? Oh, well, he's learning under Pep. Yeah, somebody... Now, before some smart ass says it, yes, I get that Jose Mourinho was once upon a time a Barcelona coach. How often does this happen? Let's just be honest and let's be real here. How often does this happen? Now, I know the other excuse that people are going to come, well, cheap. What do you mean? Because you're talking about Freddie taking over, and he's a number 2 as well. There's a difference between Freddie taking over and Mikel Arteta taking over because he worked under Pep. Freddie is part of the setup. He's part of the setup. He knows the players. He gets a reaction out of the players. All the players seem to love him, and supposedly he's hot shit as a coach. These are verified things. Who, albeit, was once Arsenal captain. I'll give him that. Was once Arsenal captain, was once a decent player. Ironically, before he came to Arsenal, he was once a decent player and played under Pep. And sorry, won a couple of leagues under Pep. Congratulations, won a couple of leagues under Pep. So did Steve McLaren under Ferguson. Do you want Steve McLaren as Arsenal coach? Come the fuck on. Don't piss me off, bruv. It's starting to annoy me. When people start making stupid arguments, it just starts annoying me. Don't piss me off. Come on. Come on. Let me go through the damn list of candidates here. Mauricio Pochettino is 3rd favorite. Not 5th, not 6th, 3rd freaking favorite. 8-1. Joint 3rd favorite is Steven Gerrard. 8 what? Yep. Liverpool legend Steven Gerrard, current Rangers manager, is 8-1 to take over. Why the fuck is Steven Gerrard even on this list? What? Because he gave one half-decent a speech to the press once about how, oh, well, he's going to tell off the players because they won a game, but they didn't play well. Oh, I'm fucking impressed. No, this motherfucker is a Liverpool legend. Go. If they want to groom him for the Liverpool job, let him. He ain't got shit to do with us. Steven Gerrard. You must be joking. And then the other one is Rafa Benitez. And interestingly enough, Freddie's not on this list. At least not on the top 5 list. Rafa Benitez is also 8-1. Now, personally, I know it's not a popular choice. Personally, this is the way I'd go. Freddie to the end of the season, Rafa to take over in the summer. That has always been my preference. That has been my number 1 preference. Admittedly, I was once a very big fan of the idea of Nagelsmann taking over. And if they decided to go that way, i.e. Freddie to the end of the season and Nagelsmann, I would be happy with that too. But that is my preferred preference because I think Rafa would get in there. First thing he'll do is sort that freaking defense out. Sort that defense out. Let's put some bodies in there that are going to sort that defense out. He knows the league. He knows the league. He can communicate. He's worked in this country long enough that he can speak English, which is, let's be real here, is a big criticism, Unai Emery, that you can't communicate properly. He's experienced enough. He has the know-how. He's decorated. He's a winner. The only thing this motherfucker hasn't won somehow is the Premier League. Other than that, he's won more or less everything there is to win. He's won the Champions League. He's won the Europa League. He's won the Super Cup. He's won the FIFA Club Championships or whatever it's called. We're talking about a decorated manager here. So for me personally, that'd be not Mauricio Pochettino. For what? The guy's PR game is amazing. I'll give him that. Motherfuckers are praising him for winning fuck all for Spurs. Oh, it's all well and banger, and people want to run down. He's sucking this guy off because he took him to one Champions League final. Don't piss me off. Stop. Don't want to put. Hell no. Come on. Let's just be real here. Talking about. Anyway, I just thought I'd just have my 2 cents on it. For me personally, I don't care whether people are laughing at the idea of Rafa. Rafa is more decorated than a lot of the managers that you are going to suggest. So you laugh. Tell me who the heck you would put in. Anyway, there's over 100 people watching. Please do stick a like on the video. I'm going to go through your comments as per usual. Yes, I did see this on 1999. It doesn't surprise me from that kid. That kid does have some interesting moments. So it doesn't surprise me. But yes, it's incredible. It is incredible. I don't want Poch. I want Rafa. There you go. Got at least one Rafa fan. Can't say that. Hey, Bon, I shouldn't really show that because YouTube will judge me. Why would our fan base turn their nose at Pochettino when he's potentially going to be a world-class manager for how long? What are we talking about here? Majib, oh man. Brother, listen, you're entitled to your opinion. You've been watching me for a long time. I am surprised at you. I am very surprised at you. That would come out of your mouth. I'm very surprised. Man like Rafa to come in. I'd have Rafa. I don't care. A quick 2-3 year project. A quick 2-3 year project and get the guy that you actually want in. Why wouldn't that be your move? Straight. Club wants Terry Neal stealing managers from them. Allegri is currently available. Listen, Unique, my bro. I'd have Allegri. I'm just a little bit lukewarm to the idea, but I'd have him. I would have him. Complains of lagging. Oh, really? You've got fast internet. Why you shouldn't be lagging? Our board won't do anything. Emre will stay for a few years. Too long, same old crap. Lots of lagging comments. Don't know about this whole 10-hair guy. People are hot on him at the moment. But I feel like he could be that Monaco manager type of thing, you know, when we all want to jar them. Could be that guy. But I like the comment, though. I'd rather sloth with diarrhea than Poch or Mauricio. Can't disagree. 129 people, please do stick a like on the video. Please hit the subscribe button if you like it and enjoying what you're watching. Had to have a quick rant, just a quick one. Okay, and I don't give a damn if he lives in North London. He needs to be good enough. If we can get what's his name in? If we can get Allegri in, so be it. But to me personally, you know my choices. My 3 choices, just in case people don't know, is I'd have Freddie in. I've forgotten what my 3 choices are. Freddie in until Rafa. Nagelsmann is my second choice. And then my third choice, you lot won't like it. But let me say this, right? It doesn't contradict, before I say my third choice, it doesn't contradict anything I've said. Because for me, the reason I wouldn't have Poch is because, yes, for me, I do believe that he is a decent manager. I do think his PR game makes him apparently this Real Madrid standard of manager, which I don't understand. This Man United standard of manager, which I don't understand. If I'm United, I don't want Pochettino. You know, I've seen what he does in the Premier League with good players, and he takes them to a certain level, yes, but then that's it. And for me, I'd want a manager to be able to keep developing and keep pushing. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have Eddie Howe. Now, I realize that people will start laughing at that because that is like my, what is the name of that Burnley defender that I've been pushing for ages? Ben Mee. And people will laugh at the idea that I like him as a defender. right? I like Eddie Howe as a manager because I feel like, although I still feel like it's a little bit soon, I've just got this feeling that this kid knows what he's talking about. Like I saw him doing some drills and that the other day, and I thought, okay, all right. Like I can understand his reasoning for stuff. Very good with young players. Someone who seems to be able to have really good communication and really good relationship with the players. And for better or worse, I think we need that as a manager. You know, I don't think we need necessarily a dictator-like atmosphere like Mourinho would have had. Yes, I do think some of these players do need a swift kick up the arse. But I also feel like someone who is going to be able to develop our youngsters, because for better or worse, that is our future. We're going to be nurturing a lot of our young players through. And I think we can all agree on the fact we do have a decent young crop. Even some players that even you guys might not be familiar with that are still playing for the under 23s. And I think a young manager who has a good grip on players and that can manage them through is a good approach. So that's where that counters the Rafa approach, because Rafa, I don't think, is a man manager. But what I think he's very good at is good, just hard drills. And that's why I'd have him as a very short, like a very, very short space of time. I'd have him 2-3 years tops, sort that defense out, then you bring in a young manager. Bring back Freddie if necessary, but I just feel like you don't want the Ollie effect and then to do what United have done and almost be forced to give Ollie a chance. Now, I'd give Freddie a chance, but I'd set him some hard targets. So what I say to him very clearly is, listen, if you don't, by the end of the season, win the Europa League and get us in the top 4, which even from this position, I think is going to be difficult. But I think if he somehow pulled that off, he deserves the job. But if he didn't do that, then for me, I would say bring in Rafa, an experienced head, someone to just sort this defense out. Because that defense, really, it gives me the itches every time I watch them play. So sort that defense out. Then as soon as you start to put the infrastructure in place, then you start to target your Nagelsmans, even if Patrick Vieira has moved on to a different club and has decided to start performing well, okay, no problem. Do that. I personally wouldn't give Patrick Vieira the job now for the simple reason that I feel like he's not really done anything with Nice. If Brendan Rodgers becomes available, okay, then bring him in. You know? So, yeah, hopefully that answers your Patrick Vieira comment. Is anyone else still lagging? Miss Mortimer, sorry I was late. FML, I'm devastated that we're in the shit and that lot are making improvements. What the F is this Gerard shite coming from? No idea, my dear. No idea. I had no idea. I still can't believe Arsenal's manager. I can't believe Tottenham's manager is Arsenal's third favourite. I can't believe Tottenham's sack manager is our third favourite. Yeah. I agree with you. But Ancelotti in. I'd have Ancelotti all day over Poch, that's for damn sure. Wouldn't mind Ancelotti. Again, in that sort of Rafa role. Because I think Ancelotti's another one who I think would sort that defense out, quick 2-year spell, and then you find your young manager. Ancelotti's another one I wouldn't mind. I would not mind that. Because also I think he would leave Napoli in an instant if there was an actual job offer. And that's another one who knows the league, who can communicate and speak English. I would love Ancelotti. It's hard not to. It's hard not to. Rafa is my choice. Brother, you know what my choice is already. I also don't think he'd come to Arsenal. Yeah, he ain't brave enough for that. You don't want that smoke. You don't want that smoke. Freddie or Arteta for me. Chelsea, I'm surprised you're opting for Arteta. Surprised. Freddie until the end of the season and Nagelsmann next summer. I'd be happy with that. What about Mancini? I must admit, I was never into Mancini when he was Man City manager. So not personally for me. I wouldn't. The unknown excites you. I understand that, but also here's my issue with that. Do you see Arsenal sacking 2 managers in a short space of time if it doesn't work under Arteta? Whereas I think they're going to be more prepared to give Freddie a chance to make things work, Rafa a chance to make things work, just due to the fact of what Rafa's won. They'd give Brendan Rodgers a chance to make things work. Whereas with Arteta, if I could see the fan base turning quickly on Arteta. And I feel like if they bring in a manager, this is the other problem I had with Jose. Because I eventually would have got used to the idea of Jose. I would have. But the other problem I had with Jose is I like the idea of a manager coming in and everybody unites behind him. You know? And I think for better or worse, 90% of people would unite behind Rafa. Everybody would unite behind Freddie, even for an interim basis. Most people would be very excited but nervous about the idea of a Nagelsmann coming in because we know he's supposed to be this talented manager, but we don't know him. Not really. Eddie Howe, I think, purely because he's British, I think a lot of people will like that. He's young, so I think a lot of people will like that, and they will unite behind him because of it. Arteta is not that guy. I think he might get a lot of the hardcores to unite behind him for the simple reason that he was a Arsenal captain. So I can just see Twitter now. Let's get behind the manager. This is an Arsenal captain, yada, 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 yada. I say don't put the man in the position in the first place. Let him go prove himself. And then if he does well with that team, then I have no problem bringing on Arteta. What I don't like is this idea of bringing in managers that haven't even managed before. They ain't even managed before. The one thing you can say about my entire list, all of those people have managed before. And before you even use Freddie to throw in my face, Freddie is on an interim basis. And I've given him a target. And he knows the players. So that's a completely different situation. And no one suggests Thierry Henry to me, please. Apart from the fact that he's just got himself a new job. Buster Cherry in the house. Doing what Buster Cherry does. Oh, bite your tongue. Bite your tongue. Yes, please. Do hit that like button for me, please. I'm going to do another 4 minutes before we head out of here. Because I know Lee, if he's not live, he will be going live very shortly. Do go join him and tell him that I thank you. Cash checkers. Hey, EE, why don't we go and get Rafa? He can be as had as he's perfect now. Brother, do you want to do a take 2 of that? Because am I just reading it wrong? Hey, EE, I'm guessing that's me, Eagle Eye. Why don't we go and get Rafa? He can be had, and he's perfect now. Okay, so I've read that differently. I've read that the way you meant it. Rafa, my choice, bruh. But I'm trying to fight Rafa's corner. People are laughing at the idea of Rafa. Rafa's my choice. Not for me. Let him go and prove himself at another club and then come back. Oh, listen. Forget everything I've said if Diego becomes available. If Diego Simeone became available, bring his Ras Clark through, bro. Bring him through. My only reservation with Diego Simeone is, can he speak English? But other than that, I love the idea of him coming in. That is a defense general. who will come in and you see people like Mustafi go hide. Granit Xhaka, go hide. David Luiz, go hide. Oh, that's the kind of thing that gives me a stiffy. If only he was available. If only. He'd be my dream. But I'm working on the assumption that he wouldn't be crazy enough to leave Atletico Madrid to come to our punk asses. Rafa won't come. Fan base too toxic. Brother, you forget Rafa went to Chelsea. Chelsea, mind you. Chelsea were damn near swearing at him as he was lifting the Europa League for them. Jesus, Chelsea. All because of his Liverpool ties. Nothing else. Went to Chelsea. Brother, he'd be fine with the Arsenal fan base. Because I think the Arsenal fan base, whilst initially they wouldn't like the idea, they'd get used to it. They'd talk themselves into it. Trust me. They'd be just fine. Let him prove it another season. I said this earlier. For me, the way they're talking about Eric Ten Hag, and in every chat room, his name comes up. And every time I say, he looks good, but so did Jardem last year or 18 months ago. Let's just see. Brother, let me tell you something, right? Let me tell you something. Money means a lot. It's not everything. If we threw a contract in his direction, the idea of managing a big club like Arsenal, and let's have it right, we're still a big club. We act like a small club. We're a big club. He'd come back. There's not a doubt in my mind he'd turn that down to stay in China. He's gone to China because, quite honestly, after the Rafa experience, after the Newcastle experience, he's probably like, oh, bun this. Let me go and earn some quick change. And I don't blame him. Chig, I just want a new man. I'm very tired of Arsenal right now. Imagine if the Howe rumours come after Southampton. We'll all be buzzing. I'd take Howe. I'd take him. He's a dark horse. Don't get me wrong. But I just got a gut feeling about him that he'd be a good choice. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. A stiffy for Diego Simeone. Yeah, you quote that. GIF it if you like. I don't give a damn. Remember, Simeone was sent to the stands and he was pacing back and forth like a raging bull. I love that. We need that. Oh, don't tease me. Don't tease me. Don't tease me. Listen, don't watch us overweight brothers, all right? Let's see if Eddie Howe can do it at a big club. I'd give him a job. Can't get any worse. And there you go. And there you go. Yeah, I agree with that. I think he could go to Bayern. I think Bayern is a good shout for him. Pellegrini at Arsenal? No, not for me. Did a decent job at West Ham, but not for me. Not for me. Vieira would sort out this team. Nah. I love Patrick, but nah. Not for me. All right, guys. 2 more minutes. I know I've done some overtime here, but 2 more minutes and I'm out of here. Bournemouth can't defend Chig, just like us. Yeah, but you've got to for me, you got to put it into perspective here, in the sense that it's Bournemouth. Like, we'd obviously have better tools than Bournemouth. And other than that, last time I checked, Bournemouth defend better than us. So I don't know what you're talking about. They defend better than we do. The reason, my theory for Eddie Howe is this: I think he'd get everybody working 10-15% harder, which I know you guys might sit there and say, oh, but we need to work harder than 10-15%. All right, I hear you. But I still think even if everybody worked that 10-15% harder, we'd defend a lot better than we do now. A lot better. Oh, hold on. Just have to time someone out. Conte. Yeah, potentially. Anyone who wants Eddie Howe is smoking crack. Well, I guess I'm smoking crack then. Because I'd have him. I would have him. I love comments that I feel like will bite people back on the ass. And Arsenio has done that before, and it's bitten back on the ass. Archie's also done that before, but Archie ain't in here at the moment, so I shouldn't really talk for him. But I like people, especially when it comes to managers, because they know they talk that wild stuff, and then they make them eat their words, and they act like they haven't said what they've said. All right. Much love, Jerome. Much love. I'm about to bounce though, because I'm being told Lee's on as well. So big up to Lee. Go join Lee on his show. Go tell him I sent you. And also, before you go, I beg, guys, takes me 2 seconds just to stick a like on the video. Stick a like on the video. Hit the subscribe button. I'm sailing on to 7,000. That is the aim. Trying to get there before Christmas. It's going to be tight, but you guys can help me. So do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, help the show get noticed so that new people can see the vid, and then I might be able to get to that 7K. So that's the choice. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. Also in the comments, and I've been slacking on the replies lately, do let me know even if you're watching this in a playback, who would your 3 choices be for Arsenal manager? 3 choices. Everybody gets 3 choices. 3-choice list. Who would your 3-choice list be? Leave it in the comments below. I will be replying to everyone that puts 3 choices in there. And before some smart ass does it, I don't want to see Troops, Chig, and Lee. I don't want to see that. I want to see actual managers. Who would your next Arsenal manager be? Put that in the comments below. All right. I'm out of here. Go join Lee now. Go to Lee Gunner's channel. Go say I sent you. Go spam his chat and say Chig sent us. And I'm out of here. Take care. Peace.